Gus this too, but do you think there's a chance with the statement that was released today that could free the guys up to, like, they don't have the weight of, like, is our coach's job on the line anymore? Do you think that can free them up to play a little more free on the road?
I believe so. I believe that statement only brings positive vibes around for everybody, right? I mean, you saw Chuck Keenan respond to it, and you see some of the recruiting stuff like that. You see just the guys jumping around at practice. I mean, again, it's just good vibes, right? Any positive energy, hopefully perpetuates itself into more positive energy. So it was a good deal.
Brendan, what did you, in general, think of the defense's efforts on I was going to say Saturday, on Friday?
Oh, I thought they were ready to play. You know, I thought they wanted a piece. You know, again, credit to NC State. They had those two drives. We didn't convert. Third and fourth downs got us. Again, you know, anytime you give up, 9, 10, 11 play drives, all that kind of stuff with all those minutes off the clock like that, that's a direct result of converting on third and fourth downs. But for the most part, I thought the things we worked on in practice showed up. I thought the attitude that was taken on the trip from the very get-go worked. I think the changes that Coach made, you could see him actually apply it and put it in there. They were more businesslike. And again, I don't know if you guys saw it, but I think after their last score, we go back out on defense, and one of the first guys out there is Darrell Jackson, right? And he runs out there and he's geeked up and he's like, let's go, let's play ball. And then we hold them, they punt, the mishap on the punt happens, and guess what? The first one out on the field is D-Jack, and he's like, let's go. He's like, I don't hear no nothing, like, let's go, rallying the troops. The second time that the punt happened, the first guy out on the field on defense is Darrell Jackson. Like, nah, let's go. You know what I mean? And so that dude, man, got a lot of respect for that young man, going to get drafted really, really high in the draft, and he could have easily been the first guy to be like, nah, what's going on, blaming, point fingers. He was the first one out on the field waving the defense on like, hey, we're going to go get a stop right now. And it's no coincidence why we played okay on defense, because of guys like that.
I was actually going to ask you about that sequence and just how the guys are processing it. I mean, you do get stops when you have to get them, but then the offense goes right, the other team's offense goes right back out there again. And just not getting the results despite some positive plays.
Yeah, I mean, but the results. Again, our job is to stop them, right? So you go out there and stop them. Punt deal happens. I mean, the special teams are 80% defensive guys anyway. So like, that's just a defensive play basically. So didn't happen. It's like us not getting a stop. That's fine. We went back out on the field, got a stop, and then even then, the ball's on the 14 or whatever. Guys, they're playing their butts off. They had to go for it on 4th and 7, and again, kudos to them. They made the play. It was a one-on-one ball. Duty actually touches the ball. You know what I mean? So you talk about the game of inches. He touches the ball, but they tried to line up, tried to get us to jump off sides. Discipline, nope. They called the timeout. Ran the offense back out there. Had a great call. I think one of the Twins was coming scot-free up there. If we had just made him hold it for one more second, we're gonna sack him again. And, we just got beat one-on-one. That's football. But those guys' attitude was right. Their mentality was right. They wanted to play football, and they executed at a high level. And there's a couple plays in there, again, that you want to have back. But that's a skill. That was a skilled offense. I mean, they can run the ball. They were doing that against everybody. The quarterback, he gets hot. The receivers, the tight ends. I mentioned the tight end group. They throw it to number 7 there for the touchdown. That not many people are going to do that. Throw it to a tight end on the game's on the line, but they did, and he made the play. So, but the guys were ready to play. It was fun to watch them, and now just told them again that they're going to have to answer the call again, right? We'll empty that bucket, and today was the first step in showing how they want to play and their attitude come Saturday at 4:30. So it was a good day.
Following up when you mentioned Darrell and his energy in the game, the effort that he's put together this season, some of it could have didn't go the way he wanted to from a win-loss perspective.
Yeah.
Say about him that he's continued to be engaged, maybe even gotten more so as the season's gone.
Yeah, it says everything about him. It just shows. I hope and I pray that it shows everybody who's thinking about drafting him what kind of investment they're going to make in that young man. You know what I mean? Like, he's been a great teammate. He's been somebody who's been coachable, who is fun to coach. I mean, and you talk about investing in a first-round draft choice, and I'm like, that shows it right there, what he can be. He had one of his most dominant performances, and I mean, you go back and watch the tape, they left him one-on-one a lot. And every time he was one-on-one and he could do this and get off a block and make a tackle, he made a tackle. Like, it wasn't even close. Like, he was making a tackle. But there's a couple plays in there where it was on the perimeter where they throw the ball out there, and he's showing up. You got, again, 6'6", 330, and he's showing up out there running, and I pointed out in the defense, he is running his butt off to go play as hard as he can for his teammates, for FSU, for Coach Norvell, for everybody. That's enough said, man. That's action on the grass. That's enough said. You know, I've been saying all year he's one, if not the top interior defensive lineman in the country, and he just keeps on showing up. He just keeps on showing up. So I'm grateful for him.
You talked about being ready for next Friday or next Saturday, 4:30. I know it's not the game that they wanted, not the season that they wanted, but the playmakers that Florida has, what kind of challenge do they bring to the defense?
Yeah, I mean, again, you talk about the skilled athletes. I mean, it starts with the quarterback, and I get they've had an adverse field season, but again, he has the talent to be one of the top draft choices, period, in the draft. You know, they got the receivers running around like crazy. I mean, they're big up front. I mean, they got skill everywhere. I mean, it's going to be a different challenge. Now, what they do offensively wise is a little different than NC State and those guys. But again, you got skilled athletes, and it all starts with the quarterback, which they got. So we're gonna have to not have a scoreboard for this one, and understand that these kind of games, it doesn't matter what the records are, it doesn't matter where you're playing, it doesn't matter who's there. It's gonna be a physical battle. So we better be ready to go.
Chris? I know we're still in season, and obviously you got a game to plan for, but we may not see you after that game. Is your intention to be here next year at this point? Have you given that thought?
Yeah, you know something I don't?
I'm just
Yeah.
asking.
Yeah, I just celebrated my wife's birthday, my kids, and in the church is right across the street. Like, there is nothing that I have going on. Zero. I mean, I got to worry about going to family dinner with my wife and watching my boy play basketball here at McClay, and my daughter play soccer. That's all that's on my mind right now, and making sure that I do everything I can for the guys. I don't know if you guys understand this, but like, as a football player, you know, your snaps are numbered, and this is the last time that some of those guys, probably the high majority of those guys, I'm just talking defense, but even as a team, they will never play football ever again in their life, ever. Okay, ever. I owe them that respect. Like, 100. I better have a great game plan. The coaches better be on it. I better say the right things. I better do everything for those guys, because I remember your time is numbered. So I better do them right.
Staying on that topic, I guess, a little bit, and I know some of those guys will be playing the last game, but this defense has some young guys on it, some young guys to build around. When you foresee, and I know you still have a game to play, but with the statement that came out today, when you look ahead to next year, seemingly a lot of the staff will be coming back. What excites you about this defense, the pieces that have been built in 2025 going into 2026?
Yeah, you notice, like, I've said top 25 defense, and I believe that one of the best defenses in the country. And then you go out there and you play, and I truly believe you have an off season where you're very calculated in what you do and you work on. And now that you see how people are going to attack you and you see all those things, you develop the guys that you have, you add to the roster what you need in order to become great, and then you put your feet on the grass. And I believe that this could be a top 10 defense. You know what I mean? That's how it works, though. You got a whole bunch of guys playing ball, and then those passes that went through people's hands one year, now those guys coming back and whole off season stuff, now those guys are catching the ball. The tackles that you missed because he was 1 yard away, now they understand the defense, they understand what they're looking at, they understand how to attack. Now they're making those tackles. You know what I mean? So I believe that there's a lot of talent, young talent in there, and given the opportunity, it'll be fun to watch both sides of the ball develop.
Late in the game, you guys had even before the punt stuff, everyone has a chance to the pick. It looked like it might have been a strip sack. Couldn't tell. I don't think they were viewed as whether or not the ball came out before he
Yeah.
went down or not. But, like, having guys that are that close to making those big plays, but then, again,
Yeah.
How is that, how are they handling that?
Oh, you know, they know, like, they know and they feel it. And again, like, first thing everybody said was, hey, you know, you could have, the quarterback, you slow-mo it, the quarterback wasn't looking at you. He was coming this way and he had the ball. And every single day, guys, we do a quarterback strip drill, you know what I mean? And his response was crazy. It was, I can understand, it was one where he's like, Coach, I didn't want to go for it because I didn't want to miss him like I did at Pitt, you know? And I'm like, I get you. That is the thing that, you know, again, confidence, development, putting him in those positions where now you're going to see those sacks become sack-caused fumbles, you know what I mean? And I showed the guys today, even it should have been reviewed, but we didn't give them a chance to because we didn't recover the fumble fast enough. We should have recovered it right now and got up and made them say, yo, let's go to replay and let's see. And because the guys in the box said it came out that we should review it, but he said we didn't recover it fast enough. So it's like, well, again, all learning moments, right? So for the next time that happens, that we can be better.
Avalon?
That statement earlier from the administration, the chairman of the board of trustees, who's like probably the most powerful person in the university, said that these structural changes.
Yeah.
Have you talked to Coach Norvell about what he would define as structural changes, and if that would include people under you? Would you be willing to assess them and hold them accountable and move forward with other people?
Everybody's held accountable. You know what I mean? Like that. I mean, that's just the way it goes, right? So nothing has been discussed. I mean, that's all above my pay grade. And also, I do what they ask me to do, and rock out from there. So that part I don't know.
I know two more. Bob?
Coach, missed tackles are just part of the game,
Mhm.
right? It's nature of the sport every week. This week, was it more, like you said earlier, the guys lined up a yard away from where he should have been? Was it poor technique? Did you see any commonalities in certain missed tackles this week?
No, I think it was all the same. You know, you can live with missed tackles when you see the training, you know, being used. You know what I mean? Like, and what I mean by that is we track the near hip, we gather when we get there, we use dominant contact, and I can understand, you know, guy making a play or whatnot. It's the times where you're not aggressive and you're not physical, you're not using the technique where those things, when those things show up, those are the 27-yard runs and all that kind of stuff. Usually you can miss a tackle, and there are a lot of tackles actually missed, but there's so many bodies around, or the technique is being used where it's slowed down so somebody else comes in and tackles the guy, you know what I mean? So between effort, between technique and fundamentals, all those things, like, you know, you can get away with some of that stuff, but the one thing you can't get away with is intent. You gotta get there, and you gotta want to tackle. You gotta want to be physical. You gotta want to. And some of those, like you saw a couple guys, like they didn't run up there with that intent. And sure enough, like, you know, I think the second longest run, we got a free guy, we got a free hat that should hit the quarterback for about 2 or 3 yards, but we didn't go up there wanting to go hit somebody and knock him out. Well, guess what? Well, then he's going to gain 16 yards if we don't do that. So those you can't live with. Those are unacceptable, but you can live with the ones where you're practicing and doing your technique.
Corey, last one. You said multiple times, I think, throughout the season, that sometimes the ball just beats you.
Mhm.
With Shamar on that last play,
Yeah.
it seems like it's pretty darn good coverage. As you said, he got a finger on it.
Yeah.
The ball just beat him. But how, as a young guy, do you not let him feel like the world is caving in on him that he gave up a touchdown in that spot?
Oh, it did. Like it. Oh, yeah. Because again, what you don't realize about Duty was he played his butt off. He made a couple big time plays where they were cracking the safety. So you see him come off and replace, and made a couple, the longest run of the game, the 27-yarder. He actually is man coverage, turns his back, sees the ball coming at him. The receiver grabs him. He throws the receiver down. The receiver is kicking up and tripping him, and he runs and he dives over there to trip up the running back. He played his butt off, man. And you talk about the ball beating them by this much, and now everybody saw that play, and now everybody's like, man, you suck. It's just reminded him, like, that's the game. Like, those plays he will make. He's going to make them. You know, like the leverage, he should have been better with his leverage. You know what I mean? That's just a young guy, heat of the moment, last play of the game, inside versus outside leverage, you know, knowing who it was. That's a tight end. We have a certain technique that we use on tight ends that we don't use on wide receivers, right? Didn't do that. You know what I mean? So, again, those little things like that, again, young guys playing, like in the heat of the moment, okay, man, like now you understand. It takes putting your hand on the stove to learn those things, and he knows. He was the first one distraught, and it's like, yo, it didn't take away from you playing your butt off, man, as a freshman, and he's only going to be better for it.
Okay, thanks, John.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, guys.